Being a real estate agent is a lot of fun, but admittedly, I wish I knew a few things before I got my license. I think there's a vast majority of people who come into this business, different expectations of what the business is really like. So I wish I knew these 10 things before I became a real estate agent. Number one, you have to wear so many hats. You gotta know what SEO means. You gotta be able to market yourself. You gotta be able to know how to prospect for business. Do you know how to run an open house? Do you know how to show a house? Do you know contract law? Do you know timelines? Do you know basic information on mechanical systems of a house? I mean, there's a lot that goes into being a real estate agent, and it's not really just about showing houses, writing contract. This job really forces you to wear a lot of different hats. Number two, you have to treat this like a full-time job to get full-time results. I mean, a lot of people come into this business thinking that when they get their license, people are just gonna flock to them and want to use them to represent them in a real estate transaction, and that's just really not the case. You have to work really hard to find your next opportunity, because that could lead to a new client. You could spend your day at home lounging around watching Netflix, but you're missing a lot of opportunities. And if you invest full-time energy into this career, you're gonna get full-time results. Number three, licensing is expensive, and continuing to stay licensed is pretty expensive. It's not just a one-time chunk you pay when you join. Some MLSs have yearly fees. Sometimes they're broken up into like semi-annual fees. Sometimes they're broken up into quarterly fees, and those fees can rack up, especially if you're not closing on a transaction. That means you're not getting paid. And how are you gonna pay for these dues if you don't have any clients? It's a whole cycle. Number four, joining a networking group is huge. Whether you're in a bowling league, or if you work out at a gym, or if you're in the Odd Fellows, or you're in the Masons group, or the Eastern Stars, or really anywhere where you are in front of a lot of people is huge for your business, because the more handshakes leads to the more opportunities you can have. So if you're not in some type of networking group, it is super important that you get in one when you get into real estate, because for me, a lot of my business in my first few years, and even still now, come from the gym that I'm at right now, Tai Chi. It's a big martial arts gym, and a lot of my biggest supporters and my biggest clients have come directly from that gym. Next, getting your license is actually the easy part. That test does nothing to show you how to run your business, how to prospect, how to market, contract laws, meeting deadlines, negotiating. Like, that class doesn't show you any of that, and you kind of have to learn on the fly with most of those if you're not under the wing of somebody when you join your brokerage. Really, the testing does nothing to help your business directly. They just want to teach you definitions that hopefully you'll memorize, and show you how many square feet are in an acre, which I have not used to this day. Number six, create a weekly schedule. Creating a weekly schedule is going to help you be focused and consistent on prospecting, on meeting new people. I mean, it's super important to be able to time block your schedule, because there is no one telling you you have to do this, 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 this from 9 to 10, 10 to 11. And when you come from a job where your boss is handing down activities to now you have to look for activities to keep you busy, creating a weekly schedule is so valuable for your real estate business. Number seven, most of your time is actually spent prospecting and looking for new clients. When I was going through my licensing course, I really had this assumption that I was just gonna be showing a lot of houses and I was gonna be writing a lot of contracts. And I mean, that is definitely one part of the business, but I would say that's probably about 40% of the business, and 60% of the business is prospecting and trying to find your next client and your next opportunity. Number eight is staying proactive in the information and the changes that are happening in your industry. Some brokers are gonna send you emails or reach out to you if there's a change, but there's a lot of stuff that changes our industry on a weekly basis, and staying on top of them is super crucial. I know I always had that fear that if I was in Wegmans grocery shopping and I had a client come up to me and was like, "Hey, Corey, did you see that Compass is trying to buy Berkshire Hathaway?" And if I didn't know about that, then I would feel very silly. So it was super important for me to stay on top of not just what's happening in the industry between different companies, but also like what contract changes are required going forward, because I just didn't want to be stumbling over my words when somebody wanted my professional opinion on something. Number 9, when you get that first commission check, put away a good chunk of it for taxes and do it every single time when you get a commission check. Being an independent contractor, you don't have taxes that come out. So at the year end, when you're cashing your first commission check, you need to put away a good chunk of it. And you're probably asking yourself, how much should I put away? I do about 35% of whatever commission check I get goes into an account that's hands off that I pay at the end of the year for my taxes. But you should really talk to your accountant because there's easy ways where you could pay your taxes quarterly and really help you stay ahead of that. But don't cash that whole commission check. In fact, you want to put some away in a savings account. It sucks, but it's just a part of being an independent contractor. Number 10, you will never feel 100% competent in this job because every transaction is different. Whether you're talking about a house with a well, or there's a new construction, or a plot of land, or a townhouse, or a farmhouse, or a house with a septic tank, the list goes on and on. It always seems that like every transaction is slightly different, and I know I might be portraying that in like a negative sense. It's kind of the reason why I love this job is every transaction is different. I get to learn something new every time I'm meeting with someone. Yes, I'm pretty well versed when it comes to residential, but when a snag comes up with furnace mechanical system or the roof has got issues, like I gotta lean on my referrals and my sources to help answer some questions. And I feel like every time I do a transaction, I'm learning something new, but I don't 100% feel competent in my last job. I could do my job with my eyes closed, but you can't really cruise in real estate. You can't put the cruise control on in this industry. But honestly, wholeheartedly, that's one of the reasons why I love this job. Okay, my last one. I know I said 10, but I'm gonna give you one more because I felt like this last one was too good not to share. You think you are gonna own your own schedule. When people get in this business, they get in this business because they don't want a boss, they want to run their own business, and they want to have control of their schedule. But if you are too controlling of your schedule, there is a lot of missed opportunities that are going to walk out the door, right? You have to be available really around the clock. And can you set parameters and rules and guidelines? Absolutely. It's really hard to say, I'm not going to work X day, because it seems to be when you put that out there, that is the day that everyone comes calling for you and has a question for you. So you don't have as much control of your schedule as you do. I mean, when I look at my business, I have a control of my schedule where 9 a.m. to 9:30, I'm bringing my son to school and I get to be there for pickup. So I don't make any appointments during that, but because I close those in my schedule, I have to open my schedule up a little bit more, which means that I'm doing some more evening showings and stuff like that. And that's okay, but this job gives me the balance to do so. You just don't want to close your schedule too much. I hope this list was beneficial because boy, do I wish I knew some of these before I got into real estate. It's a job that I love wholeheartedly and I would never take it back, but there's some things that I just wish I was a little bit more prepared for when I got into this business. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. Are you a real estate agent and wish you knew something before you got in the business I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below so we can help others.